Right, welcome back, everyone. We are, we're back on the road. This man needs no introduction. We're back. It's a return visit to the shed of Mr. Gerald Spencer. You're in for a real treat, everybody. There is some incredible birds for us to see. We don't quite know what we're going to talk about yet, so we'll make it up as we go along. But before we start, we have some news. Breaking news, don't we?
Breaking news, yes.
We do, which is from now, Mr. Spencer and I are in partnership, aren't we, partner?
That's correct, sir.
It is. It is the Spencer and Eld Fife Canary partnership. So we will be breeding and showing in partnership from now on. So, listen, lots to look forward to on the show today. There are some incredible examples of the Fife Fancy Canary in this room, as there always is. So you know what to do. Grab yourself a cuppa, sit back, and enjoy the show. Well, listen, everybody, we are back here with a man I've known for, I reckon it's nearly 25 years, mate. Now,
Got to be.
It has got to be. It's got to be. And for those of you who are wondering how the partnership has come about, it's essentially been 5 years of me pestering. Isn't that about right?
Maybe a bit more.
Maybe a bit more. It has maybe been a bit more. But one of the things that I was sort of mindful of is that, you know, for the bird exhibiting seasons over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, they've been disrupted, haven't they, with COVID, with bird flu, with a variety of other things, and really the main thing for me was getting.
I've been a bit fed up.
Yeah, you had, hadn't you?
Aye.
And
fed up.
And
they're splitting one thing and another. It's ridiculous.
It is, and one of the things that we're pretty sure that we won't do it on our own, but one of the things that we're hoping to do is really sort of get people talking, not about the split in the Fife Fancy, but get people talking about the birds again in the Fife Fancy, and that really is part of us coming together as a partnership. It's also because we had a laugh in Europe last year, didn't we?
I did.
We did.
Good laugh.
We did. We went around Europe. We were judging quite a lot around Europe. We spent an awful lot of time together. We had some good times. So we're looking forward to getting back on the show bench this year. 25 years. It's been a while, mate, hasn't it? It's been a while that we've known each other.
It is.
It has. And in that time, very little's changed. You have got more like me, and I've got more like you without the hair, but with the waistline.
Aye, you're right there.
Yeah.
I need to lose a bit.
You do. Yeah, you and me both.
I am
pal.
with this dog, though.
Yeah, you are. That's it. One of the other things that is, you've got little. Is it a cocker or a springer?
Cocker, working cocker.
Working cocker. This man is doing, ridiculous numbers of steps every day with his dog, which is the dog is beautiful, isn't it? And it's giving you fair to say, mate, it's giving you a bit of a lease of life, hasn't it?
Well, before I come into the shed, I'm out with dog.
Yeah.
Well, what things has happened in this fancy? It's not good.
No, it isn't.
Not good, this split, I'll tell you now.
It isn't. As I say, what we're trying to do, we're gonna focus on the birds, and that's the important thing. And we'll try as much as we can to get to as many shows as we can, because neither of us, for judging commitments for one thing and another, have perhaps got to as many shows as we'd like. So we're going to put an end to that this year, mate, aren't we? We're going to do some miles. So assuming of course. We breed some birds now, bringing.
That's down to you.
That's down to me.
Your numbers need to improve on that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, pal. You're not wrong. Yeah. Can we show red poles?
I don't know about that.
So listen, we've got a few things to talk about today. One thing is the birds that are in the room here, and at the moment, what we've done is, I took some birds from you at the end of last year, some flighted birds and some unflighted birds, and my line is pretty much based on your birds anyway. So I think that there's a sort of a natural coming together of the stud, gives us a bit of strength. We've both got all the colours this year, haven't we? So you've got
for this year,
yeah, for this year. But moving forward, you'll concentrate, I guess, more on the darker birds and the blues, and I'll concentrate more on the lighter birds. Although we'll still have each,
Aye, we still have I still want 2 or 3 pair.
Yeah.
Of clears.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 hens and 1 cock or whatever.
Yeah. Just to give a bit of colour into the room. So, speaking of colour in the room, what's immediately noticeable to me, mate, is since
greens.
the last we were here, is more greens, and you've been, I guess, synonymous with your greens. The greens have been a bird which have been, something that you've been, known for over time, isn't it? And this year, there's a good number. I think 3 green yellow cocks and 4 green buff cocks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then a number of hens, really nice green yellow hens. So tell me about this. This is these things don't happen over one season, do they, mate?
I've 8 yellow green hens.
Right.
And there's 3, 4, 5 green buff hens and a blue buff hen.
Yeah. So
4 clear yellow hens, 3 clear buff cocks, which I thought there were only 2. And now there's 3.
Is it definitely a cockbird?
I'm not 100% still, but nearly.
It's nearly looking that way. So on to the greens.
Mine turned up in Liverpool.
Yeah, it might well do. Brilliant, everyone. So on to the greens, mate. It's fair to say that it's something that you've been working on, and what people perhaps won't have seen, you haven't been out on the show bench that much really over the last 3, 4, 5 years or so. What people perhaps won't have seen is the work that you've been doing in the shed. So although the birds haven't been out as much, you've been refining the bird, haven't you? You've been developing the birds, and as is always the case when I come here, there's a sort of stamp across the stud, which is the first thing you look for.
They're all the same size.
They are all the same size, and the one thing that impresses me, and we can see it from a couple of the shots here, is that you've kept the shoulder, you've kept that width on the shoulder. The green yellow cocks in particular, they've got real good width across the shoulder. Is that something that you've focused on, selected on? Is it fair to say it's sort of been, you know the birds, don't you? You know how the birds are bred, and I guess it's been a sort of selection process over years. Whenever I see you in here, you are judging the bird in a 3-dimensional way, so you'll always look over the top of the bird, won't you? You won't just look at it side on. You'll look over the top and you'll look at the shoulder.
I don't like to see it seconds out, and I've tried to cut on that. And how many is in here with splits? Not that many.
Yeah, no, I mean that's something which there's
maybe a couple.
Yeah, it's something that I think we've seen in the Fife, haven't we, for a while, and again, it's about that eradication of things, isn't it? It's about looking at that break in the neck, which I think your birds have always been synonymous with that break in the neck, but they've got the rise on the back at the right place.
In the right place.
Yeah.
A lot of them, the rise is further too low.
Yeah.
Too low down.
Yeah.
And some of these top studs who's winning, they're low down.
Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. So, greens, there's been a sort of determined focus to get greens back in, and your clears. I mean, your clear and lightly variegated birds have been doing well over the last few years, haven't they? Or certainly of late.
I mean, I've got some nice green yellow hens and buff hens.
Yeah.
This time. Well, best I've had for quite a while, I would say.
Yeah. No, I think that's one of the things that sort of struck me at the end of last year as you were looking at the selection process. There was a number to choose from, and I mean, I did try and wangle a few more in my direction, everybody, but yeah, there is some really good quality birds here.
There is, aye.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, mate. So as we look at plans for the breeding season, it's the start of March at the moment, isn't it? And it won't be long, I guess, for the birds. They're in the cages at the moment. In the sort of, you've got hens, haven't you, in long flight cages, and the cocks are all singled off at the moment.
There's 32 hens altogether. There's 8 in 4 cages. Middle of next week, I start splitting some up.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some up. Cocks will go in the single cages. Well, they're in single cages now, but they'll go in the cages where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And
from that, so if we look at the banker cages on the sort of the back wall here, which is the main breeding bank, really, isn't it? Is it a case that the cocks go across the bottom on the bottom row, and the hens are in the 3 cages above?
Well, that's what you've got to change, haven't you? Because yours is top, so...
Got to put my cockbirds in the bottom now, everyone.
No, I've always seen my cockbirds in bottom, but everybody's to their own.
Yeah.
And then hens are in single cages. I like to have a cage spare at side so I can move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
For youngsters and one thing, if you get problems with it, pick, feather plucking or one thing or other, you can move it into another cage, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Have a spare cage in one row so I can keep moving.
Yeah. Now, always good advice. And in terms of the talked about it, I think at the outset, the one of the things I guess that always that people always wonder about with keeping birds is the ratio between flighted and unflighted. And some people, keep very few flighted birds. Some people keep a lot of flighted birds. And with yourself, say there's 16 cocks on at the moment, but within those, there's half a dozen flighted birds.
Yeah.
Most of which are a year old. Is there anything else?
That's it. No, they're a year old.
Yeah. So there's nothing other than a brown ringing.
6 flighted cocks. The same with hens.
Yeah.
There's 6.
Yeah.
6 flighted hens.
And those are birds. They're here because, I assume, because of the sort of the pedigree behind them, and also the quality of what they produced.
That's correct. Yeah. There's two pairs that. There's 2 pairs that I'll put together again.
Right. Okay.
What I'll do, I'll put them ends down, then lift it, and then try a different cock. But then I'll revert back to the only 2 hens that I'm going to breed like that.
Yeah, and that's something again. I know a lot of people talk about. Well, why would you put the same pair again together? And the reason you do that is because you really like the quality of what they produce.
So you've got some more to breed with for next year, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, that absolutely makes a lot of sense. One of the other things that fascinates me in the room is there's quite a few cinnies on.
Ah, it is.
Yeah.
How many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5.
5 cinnamon hens.
Cinnamon hens.
Yeah.
And 3 cinnamon cocks.
And 3 cinnamon cobblers. So what's the sort of? You've always struck me as somebody who keeps for quality, not colour. And obviously of late you've bred across the colours and competed across the colours and won across the colours. But with the cinnamons, normally I would expect you to have carrier cocks, not visual cocks. But you've got 3 outstanding cinnamon cock birds, haven't you?
I have. I mean, I haven't got a cinnamon carrier this time. I'll let them. Well, I'm talking to a fellow who's got one.
It's in my room, everyone. It's in our Liverpool room.
I've just got some plans
and with that, so from the cinnamon thing, will it be cinnamon to cinnamon for the most part? Will it be cinnamon over normal as well?
There'll be for one round. There will be.
Yeah.
And then I'll do 1 or 2 other things.
Yeah.
1 or 2 other things, friend, but. There's still hens that I've got in my mind what I'm going to pair to them, but then I might change it.
Yeah. And that sort of process, when you...
I've got to go through my breeding records and have a look and study this, study that.
Yeah, and I guess that's that sort of process. You know, you're spending time, aren't you, thinking about it, thinking about what you're going to put together, what you think the outcome of that's going to be. It's quite deliberate, mate, isn't it? It's not, you're not just sitting there going, oh, I'll throw that over there.
No, I won't do that.
No.
I'd sooner have clear eggs.
Yeah.
If that cock won't go to that end, I'd sooner have clear eggs. I'm not going to put it just for youngsters.
No.
Good.
And I think that's, you know, that's the sort of the proof is in the cages, really, of that as a strategy. At the moment, you've got, as I say, the hens are in sort of four big long cages each. I've got, what's that in there? They've got a little bit of apple, they've got a little bit of kale, they've got a little bit of conditioned seed.
There's broccoli, apple, and kale.
Yeah.
And that tastes like that tonic from Pet Force.
Yeah.
That's what's in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing in water, just plain water. They're ready for egg salt in 2 months. In 2 months' time, I think that's a good. Well, it is a good thing. And these will talk about front line and one thing and another. This egg salt's different. It's a different kettle of fish.
It is, isn't it? I think it's one of the things, for those of you who are familiar with the channel, you'll know Exalt is a water-soluble mite treatment. It's been around the continent for a while. We've had it in the UK for about 2 years or so now, maybe a bit longer. And yeah, it really is. It's a game changer, isn't it?
I mean, I didn't have mite for years upon years, never treated them for anything. I used to have hens, and one thing, they were in there, never in here. Then all of a sudden, get them red mite. Terrible.
Yeah.
Took 4 or 5 years to get that shut of them.
Yeah.
Front line, ivermectin, nothing. Don't work, in my opinion.
Yeah. But as soon as the Exalt goes on, then
last year, I used Exalt and ivermectin, and nothing. This time, I'm knocking ivermectin off and just using Exalt, just see.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that will. I'm sure that will work. It certainly worked for me. So, mate, when it comes to pairing up the birds, they can hear. I don't know if this comes through on the mic, but they're in good voice at the moment, aren't they?
They are in good nick.
You've got just in front of the window, and anyone who's ever been to Gerald's room will know. And I'll do a shot of it here. You know, you've got a row of show cages. You've got two shelves in front of the window with a row of, I mean, these show cages, these are training cages, aren't they? But they're absolutely immaculate. You could show in them, mate. They are absolutely.
They're actually same. Some of these are.
Yeah.
Same as what I'm showing.
Yeah. So they are immaculate. But you were saying when it comes to that sort of selection and pairing of birds, you'll look at your records, you'll look at your pedigree, but actually when you're doing that sort of final decision, the decision's made when the bird is in the stock cage.
I put them in stock cage. I don't put them in the show cage side by side. I put them in stock cage. They're more steadier and get a better picture for me. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, I think that's, you know, always said, you know, when you're looking at your own birds, you look at them in the stock cage because that's where they're most comfortable, isn't it? That's where they're most relaxed.
I mean, it's same way you come at show. Some birds, they look better in stock cage than in training cage. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I think you get a better picture for breeding, my opinion, in stock cage.
Yeah.
Just for picking them out. Sort of thing.
No, I couldn't agree more, mate. I think that gives you that sort of, that gives you that idea and that judgment. And of course, it's difficult at this time of the year as well, isn't it? Because the cocks are bouncing, they're sort of pulling. Some of the hens are pulling, so it's hard to sort of see that actual shape.
It is, but I mean, I know how they are, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know. You know what I mean? I know each individual bird is, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not as good as I used to. I could tell you every ring number. I can tell you majority of them, but I'd tell you every one of them.
Yeah, no, he could, ladies and gents. He'd come in and he'd be like, that's ring number X, Y, and Z.
Right, I can't do that now.
Oh, it's age, mate. It's age. Well, listen. One of the other things then, when it comes to the breeding, lots of people have different sort of approaches, don't they, to breeding, and there's no right or wrong in this. It's really what works for you. But your approach is sort of, you'll put the hens in, you'll put a pan in, and then you're waiting to see those hens that are either, because they shuffle in the corners, don't they, and you wait to see the hens that are ready, and then you'll strike the cock in and run the cock with them.
Well, after years of breeding and that, I know when to put nest pan in, sort of thing, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But generally, that's where on majority of them, that's what I do. I put that nest pan in.
Yeah.
And then when they start building, then that's when I introduce cock.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be too early.
Yeah.
And then just get them fighting on one thing or other.
Yeah.
So I hate breeding season. No, I do. I do. I'd sooner have show season than breeding season, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny. It's funny.
It gets me down.
Yeah, gets you anxious, and that's, it can do for a lot of us. It can, sometimes if things aren't quite going how you'd like them to go, it can be quite difficult. And in your room, some of these cockbirds that you've got, is it fair to say some of them are only going to get one hen, and some of them will get, considerably more, and some might not get a hen at all?
Correct. Some might not get an hen at all.
Yeah.
I've got my favourite, you know what I mean? I've got my favourites. Same as these 3 clear buff cocks. Well, I hope one's still an hen.
We'll let you know, everyone.
But out of them 3, there's one that's my main one, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the one that you're going to try and get, I guess, over as many hens as you can.
Well, like I said, I've only 4 clear yellow hens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did think I'd just 2 clear buff cocks, but I'm not sure.
By the end of this episode, everyone, he might just still have 2 clear buff cocks, because one might be coming home with me.
I could do. I tell you that other day.
You did, mate. You did. Well,
and I might do that blue cinnamon carrier cock.
Yeah, you told me that as well. I'm sure it will have a lovely trip over to Barnsley at some stage throughout the season.
He's wanting this variegated. Oh, that'll be in my shed next year. This will be in my shed next year. And this, that. Right. Yeah. Yeah,
it will, everyone. You heard it here first. Well, listen, one of the other things that we've done is we've created a Facebook page for Spencer and Eld Fife Fancy Canaries. So you'll see a little clip of it here. Jump on it, give us a follow. What we'll do, it'll be me. Gerald will send me some pictures throughout the breeding season. I'll be over here plenty of times, and we'll sort of charter the breeding progress, and of course the Canary Room will charter the breeding process and progress as well. So jump on that, and feel free to contact us through there. So listen, mate, it's a pleasure. We're off now, aren't we? We're off on a jolly.
Heading to Stafford.
Yeah, so by the time this episode comes out, Stafford will have been and gone, but we filmed it just the day before Stafford. So listen, partner, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Where's my check shirt?
I don't know. I bought you one from Canada. Why aren't you wearing it?
Wrong colour.
Listen.
It's in red.
Absolutely is. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, why on earth not? Hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Until next time, everyone, take care.